This is a quick video over learning how to read and really focusing on sounding out words or sounding out letters in words to read that word. So in particular, what I'm talking about is, let's say you have the word cat. Cat. Using the approach of sound it out is saying that C makes a k, A makes a and T makes a t. So to read this word, you sound it out as k, a, t. So really, what are we saying? We're saying the idea of phonetics is that letters represent sounds. Key point, letters represent sounds. Combinations of letters represent how words sound. So in particular, we're going to focus on A. So we're going to look at k-at, cat, b-at, bat, r-at, rat, m-at, mat, s-at, sat, h-at, h-at, hat. So it would seem that sounding out is actually a very effective approach to reading. Well, the point of this video will be to show you that it is a very good approach at the beginning or the early stages of reading, but will break down horrendously later on and much more complicated levels of reading, particularly higher grades. But in kindergarten, it is actually typically a good approach. So some general rules. Vowels make two different sounds. And what are the key vowels? They are A, E, I, O, U, and then sometimes Y. So in particular, let's focus on A. We know that A has two sounds. It has a short sound, which is A, or a long sound, which is A. So when A is all by itself, it is the word A. If we were to put an N behind A, it is now soft, and it is now or and, or can. That's the general idea. So let's look at that idea a little bit more. All right, let's look at more of these rules of phonetics. Vowels at the end of a word are long, such as the I in high, the O in no, the O in so, the O in go, the O in toe, the O in do. The vowels at the end of a word are long. This is a fundamental rule of phonetics. Let's move on to the next case. Vowels followed by a consonant and E are long. This is also known as the silent E rule. So we have home, home. We have Rome, Rome. We have dome, dome. And we have comb, comb. Alrighty, let's look at these rules again. You probably noticed what I did there. This is not actually toe, it is to. This is not do, it is do. This is not comb, it is come. What we call these three words are sight rules, are sight words. Sight words. There are 3,000 sight words in the English language. Sight words are words that you have to memorize. You cannot use phonetics, you cannot sound them out, you have to have the words memorized. So you can understand why a little guy or little gal could have frustration when she reads this one as rum, because she sees come far more often than she sees Rome. Or she reads this as dumb, come dumb. Or hum, hum, hum. You can see the inconsistencies. But really, I just like pointing out that this does not follow one of the most fundamental rules of phonetics. Vowels followed by a consonant and E are long. So this really should be comb. Another good example of this rule being broken is give. So you have give when it should be give, such as when it is in hive. 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 Give, hive. Doesn't make much sense. Again, sight word. They're all over the place, and they really screw up the whole idea of sounding words out. Now, this 3,000 sight words, you may think, oh, that's not too bad. That's only 3,000. There are tens of, maybe even hundreds of thousands of words out there. Well, let's start looking at the bigger words. Alright, let's now move on to non-kindergarten level words. Let's move on to words such as woman. You probably think that's a pretty easy word. Well, what if we were to change one letter in this entire word? What do we get when we have wom? Men. Well, actually, you pronounce it as women. Women. This is another sight word that is a problem. Let's look at another word, such as on. On. If we were to add an L to that and a Y, now we have only. Only? Or do we have only? Again, another sight word. Again, there are thousands of sight words. But let's look at the really big words, such as photo, photograph. You're probably thinking, yeah, you can sound that word out. Faux, because PH is faux. Toe. Graph. Graph. Alright, that works for us. Let's resound out that word when we add a Y to the end. Let me make that Y a little bit better. It's now faux. Toe. Graph-y. No, it now becomes photography. Adding one little letter to the end of the word changes the entire pronunciation of the entire word. So that's a bit of a problem. Now this word is actually a Latin and Greek word, and that is my ideal way of reading. Because what you do is, instead of trying to sound out the words, you actually learn all of the Latin and Greek roots. So photo is a Latin or Greek root, I can't remember which one, but photo means light. Light. So photographic, photo, photography, you just remember photo. Graph. Graph. This means to draw. Draw. So a good example is geography. Geography. Where geo is earth, so it's a drawing of the earth, or geographic. We can also look at autograph. Graph. What is an autograph? It is self. Auto is self. Graph. So it is a drawing of yourself, but it's actually a signature. So graph also means write. Write. We can also do auto. Whoops. Autobiography. Auto, again, auto. Biograph. Autobiograph. Autobiography. Where auto is self, bio is life, and graph is write. So an autobiography is someone writing about their life. A biography is is a writing about a life. But an autobiography is the person themselves writing about themselves.